Hey guys, Fix It John here. This is going to be a video on how not to do something. This is a pier here, and I just wanted to show you some things here. If you look at that board, see how flat it is up here? There's no cupping. It's not pulling away from this post. And look at the grains the way they are. The grains are up. And what I mean right side up is the grains are facing up. They call that smiley face up. That's how you want to install a deck board or a guardrail or a top board here. And the reason why you want to do that is because if you look at some of these boards here are starting to come up. They're starting to cup a little bit, and here in a minute I'll show you why they are cupping. This board here is cupping. This board here is cupping. Notice the grain too, which way it's going. This board seems to be okay. And the deck boards here, they're starting to cup too a little bit. Here's a board over here that's starting to withdraw with its fastener there, and those aren't cheap fasteners. Those are good quality stainless steel fasteners, so they paid some money for this deck. And I don't know if you can notice the grain here. There we go. The grain is going down here, and it's cupping, and it's withdrawing its fastener. Right here, I can stick my finger in it. There's some other boards here. You notice the way of the grain. This here is Anyway, we've got some other boards. Now this deck has just been recently redone a year ago. And deck boarding should last anywhere from 10 to 15 years. Here's a board right here. Two boards. This board here is starting to withdraw, and that board here is starting to withdraw. Here's one with major cupping, and see how the rings are swirled down? That is because it is installed with bark side up. It should be what they call smiley face up, bark side down. Because what happens is this board here, it'll cup, and the more water, the more moisture and dry cycles it goes through, the more it'll cup and curl and pull away from its fastener. This one here also, see it pulled away from its fastener? This one's installed upside down, not right side up. But if you see that low spot in this board here, where my foot is, the low spot here, where my foot is, if you look on this side, they have it installed upside down. The rings are facing down. They have it what they call bark side up. And have you ever seen a board where one board is rotting and the next board beside it is perfectly fine, or one board is flat and the other board is curled? That's because it's installed upside down. You can see that board there, that deck board, it's pulling away, it's withdrawing and curling and cupping pretty severely, and this can be a trip hazard. You could stub your toe or take some skin off the bottom of your foot on that. So when a log is cut, it's done in a way to maximize the lumber, so you'll get more lumber out of a tree. Now most deck boards are cut farther from the center of the log, which is called a flat grain cut. You can also have an edge cut. Okay, fresh milled lumber is typically 25 to 30% moisture, and is nice and square, but once it starts to dry below 25% moisture, it'll start to, the board, it'll shrink and start to warp and cup. So with that going on, and then another wet cycle and dry cycle, it'll tend to cup and crown even more. And when I say cupping, I mean it'll cup like a U shape. More it'll have a tendency to hold water and rot. Here's another board. This would be bark side up. See the rings in it? And as you can see, where it gets close to the ring, it's starting to withdraw from the fastener and curl up and cup. Here's another flat grain cut, and it's relatively good. Another board, top railing. This board is bark side down, center side up, and it's relatively flat. The board isn't cupping at all on the top. It's probably cupping underneath, but that's where you'd want it to cup. There's a right side up for the board, and it's typically not the pretty side. Did what they called a kerf cut. You would want to go kerf cut it on the bark side, and you would want to keep your cuts even. So if you put one, you could just put one in, or if you put two in, you would want to space them out evenly between the board. Also, if you put three in, you'd want them evenly spaced through the board. And that board there, you'd probably want to make a 1/2 inch cut, and that would keep it from crowning as much. But that's a lot of work, and a kerf cut would be parallel to the board all the way to the end. A board cut like this, see how the grains are going up? That's called an edge grain board. That's a good board. That has less tendency to curl and buck. This one curl and cup. This one here will cup on this side, which is what you want on a deck board, and crown on this side, and it will cup towards this way. This one here is bark side up, which you don't want. It'll cup this way, it'll curl up, it'll pull away from its fasteners, and have a tendency to hold even more water. So there you have it, guys. Hope you like this video. If you do, like and subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.